Today, we are diving into one of the most incredible and honestly totally underrated processes in the human body, the endometrial cycle. We're going to break down this monthly marvel, step by step.
Okay, just imagine this for a second. What if, every 4 weeks, your house decided to completely demolish a room, haul out all the old stuff, and then perfectly rebuild it from scratch, all to get it ready for a super important guest who might or might not show up? Sounds pretty wild, right?
Well, that's literally what's happening inside the uterus. There's this dynamic, amazing lining called the endometrium, and it is the site of this constant, cyclical renovation project. It is an absolute feat of biological engineering.
Now, to really get this renovation, you gotta know the architecture. The endometrium has two main layers. Think of the basal layer as the permanent foundation of the house. It's not going anywhere. But the functional layer, that's the part that gets completely built up and then torn down every single cycle. This is where all the action happens.
So first things first in our renovation, demolition. Now, this is the part of the cycle most of us know about, but the biology behind it is this incredibly precise and powerful chain reaction.
Yeah, this demolition is anything but random. It all gets kicked off when levels of two key hormones, estrogen and progesterone, take a dive. That drop is the signal that tells these special little spiral arteries in the lining to clamp down, cutting off the blood supply. And, without blood, the tissue can't survive. It starts to break down. That process is called necrosis, and the body then sheds that entire layer.
And right here, we're seeing that exact process up close. This is a microscopic image of that functional layer breaking down. You can see the tissue being shed, and all those little red discs, those are red blood cells. It's an amazing look at the demolition phase in action. And this is super important. That very first day of a full menstrual flow, that is officially marked as day 1 of the entire cycle. It's like the starting pistol for this whole monthly process.
So from day 1, how much are we actually talking about, being demolished? Well, the total amount of fluid that's lost is usually somewhere between 10 and 80 milliliters. Now that number might not mean a whole lot on its own, so let's put it in perspective. A regular tampon, it holds about 5 milliliters. A maxi pad holds around 10. So suddenly that 10 to 80 milliliter range becomes a much more real, much more tangible figure, doesn't it?
All right, demolition is done. The site has been cleared. Now, it's time to rebuild. And this brings us to the proliferative phase, where the whole game shifts to growth, growth, growth. The big star of this phase is estrogen. You can seriously think of it as the project's master builder. As estrogen levels rise, it sends this powerful signal to the endometrium, basically shouting, okay, time to proliferate, which just means grow and thicken that functional layer all over again, right from that base of foundation.
And this is not a rush job. Over the next 10 to 20 days, that lining just steadily thickens from the ground up, laying down this fresh, lush, brand new layer that's rich with blood vessels, all in preparation for what comes next. Okay, the structure is built. The walls are up. Now it's time for the interior design. The finishing touches. This is the secretory phase, and it's where the endometrium becomes fully prepped and functional.
So if estrogen was our builder, then progesterone is the interior designer. Its entire job is to take that newly built structure and make it truly hospitable, a cozy, welcoming, and super nourishing environment for a potential embryo.
So how does it pull this off? Well, progesterone has a 3-point plan. First, it cranks up the blood flow to the lining, bringing in all those vital nutrients. Second, it triggers the glands there to secrete this special fluid that's packed with glycogen. Think of it like a packed lunch, just pure energy, ready to feed a potential embryo. And third, and this is so critical, it tells the uterine muscles to just chill out, reducing contractions to create a calm, stable environment for implantation.
And this picture, this just shows the final product perfectly. Look at the complexity here. This is the endometrium at its absolute peak. It's thick, it's complex, it's nutrient-rich, and it is perfectly receptive. This right here is the whole goal of the entire renovation.
So the room is perfect. It's ready. But what happens if the guest of honor, a fertilized egg, never arrives?
Well, it's pretty simple. The body just starts over. If no embryo shows up and implants, the levels of progesterone and estrogen drop off. That withdrawal of hormonal support is the signal we'll call the demolition crew back in, and the whole cycle kicks off all over again with menstruation. Seeing these two images side by side really tells the whole story, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the breakdown during the menstrual phase, and on the right, that lush, fully prepared lining at the peak of the secretory phase. It is such a powerful visual of this incredible monthly transformation.
So you see, it's so much more than just a cycle of bleeding and rebuilding. It's this intricate, hormone-driven dance of constant renewal. And it really makes you wonder, what does this relentless biological marvel actually tell us about the body's profound, unwavering commitment to preparing for potential?